Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano and Bitcoin. In this video we're going to take a look at the Cardano and the Bitcoin chart because Bitcoin is struggling to hold the 50k. We were slightly above 50k today, then fell below it again. Cardano is holding quite well actually compared to what Bitcoin is doing at the moment. Looking at what it would have done probably a few weeks ago, it would have really dumped had Bitcoin gone down, but it's holding fairly steady. Overall, you see a mixed picture in the crypto market today. I would say overall still more euphoric than sort of bearish. So it's going up more than it's going down. You know, you see a lot of winners, but there are a few red ones as well. But the red ones are more, you know, sort of low numbers in percent. So let's take a look at Bitcoin first. And first of all, maybe before we go into too much detail here, let me just hide that here on the right hand side. What I would like to point you towards is actually this larger correction here that we're doing, and just to explain it a little bit, because you know, everybody who's been watching my channel, my past videos, knows that my view is that we've come down here in a larger correction back from April into July. We then moved all the way up, even before above the previous highs, in a overshooting wave B, all based on the Elliott Wave count and method. And the next step that I would expect is a strong move down in a final sell-off into the region between 20 and 29k. That for me is still the likeliest scenario, but within that move down, you know, nothing is going down in a straight line. I think we're now in this smaller wave, lower degree wave B, which again is getting into divided into A, B, and C. So this is playing out currently, and it's not unexpected what Bitcoin is doing. You already see the first people already talking about, right, this was the low, we are now going to go up to new all-time highs. And you know, it could be true, but for me, this is the least likely scenario. I think what we're doing here, this is still very likely that we're going up here first into this target area between 55 and 63k. What would be the likeliest point for me to get to? Well, to do that, we're going to take the fibs here from the top all the way down to the low at around 40. Where did we go down to? Did we go down that much? Let me just zoom in. No, I think we went down to 42. So the ideal level for that would be here nearly 59k, so 58.7k, which is the 0.618 fib level. That is where I put the B now and the white C. That would be where I would expect the price to get to. In an ideal case, the most likely place where the price would be drawn into before we then move further down. Now, from a pattern point of view, you know, what would that actually create in the chart? And you can probably see it already, that this would draw a massive head and shoulders on the chart. There you go, which would then totally make sense, that drop. And then you see actually how this is going to work out with the head and shoulders, with a neckline here, you know, that would possibly then giving us a technical target as well, which would take us down to the lower end of this target range, so around 20k. So that'll be interesting to see if that's actually playing out. Again, you see a lot of people already speaking about the next bull run, everything. I think we're going to see this sentiment shift towards more bullish, a more bullish scenario and more bullish sentiment in the crypto market. I did say that many times before. Since we dropped below 53k with Bitcoin, that is when this scenario became the most likely for me, and it has remained that since, and it has been doing everything that was forecasted so far very accurately. So exactly this A, B, C move, which was expected as part of that wave B here to the upside. And when we reach here the, well, ideally really the ideal target level at 58.7, that we then come down into this lower target area. I did also explain this with the weekly MACD, which is not gaining any momentum to the upside at all. We are still falling down strongly here on the weekly MACD, not really reducing down any negative selling, any selling pressure. And you know, I did say it before. You had this first of all a massive bearish divergence on the MACD on the weekly, and we fall from quite a high level here, and yeah, that can take us down into these areas. And to be honest, to get to new all-time highs, you need these low indicators. You know, you can't start from such a high level to new all-time highs of 100, 200k. First of all, we need to have that sell-off here before we then move up in a new bull market next year, in my view. And that could be a massive bull market. You know, we can then see price of 100K, 150K, I think quite easily, but we need that first sell-off happening. And if we take a look on the shorter term time frame, because Bitcoin is, you know, not selling off, but it's just struggling to keep up a little bit. And I think there's just a bit of difficulties to really, first of all, do that during the sort of festive season, you know, less volume generally across the board. But also, you know, what Bitcoin is doing, it is doing a wave B. It is doing this wave B in green here to the upside. And I did so many times say before, a wave B is just sort of ugly, you know, it's not beautiful. It's choppy. It's doing these ups and downs here. It's not a very, this whole move, what Bitcoin is doing here, this is not impulsive, you know, this is a corrective move. You see these strong retracements here. And what could Bitcoin do now? You know, I generally expect the price to move up into this target area, as I said, but we can also activate the VPVR, which just tells us sort of volume based from the past, where would be most likely the key bounce off area. So I think what we could see really is another move here down to that area 48.5 before we then continue our move further up here. This is where you would most likely find key resistance. This red line here. And if we zoom out, we can actually see that we're already coming into this higher volume area. You know, you can see that where the price is currently touching basically this higher volume area. And this is also where we find currently support here at the first, you know, where those volume bars are going up here from the past. And yeah, this is an area that was traded frequently. You know, it had a lot of volume going on here in this area. You know, there's lots of ups and downs here, resistance here, support here along the way, resistance, and so on. So that's the explanation for that. And yeah, we could drop a little bit further before I think we then are going to go higher, so possibly all the way down to 48.6, just purely by using that. If that previous high, it's currently seems to hold here, this previous high, as you can see here, 49.5, this sort of seems to hold. But if we lose that, I think that is with the highest likelihood the level where we could get to before we go up further. I wouldn't anticipate a further drop, but it could happen. Then it would just all extend it out. But I think this is where we're going to land here at, in this region here, in this yellow target area. ADA, I think looking quite good, to be honest. It could really have seen down there. It's low at this orange trend line for now, at least. A trend reversal down here. When we with this sort of W bottom or triple bottom, actually quite a lot of times we touched that low there, and I think we are now moving up impulsively here after our in green here, this ABC, and now we are continuing to go up. What you can also see is in white here, this ascending trend line coming up. That's currently providing support for us, and the reason why we are struggling here is two things. First of all, again, what we can see is here, this level at 145 is the point, is it 0.786 fib level? Yeah, it's the 0.786 fib level. Oops, let me just zoom in again. It's a 0.786 fib level here. And this is why we're struggling. We're also struggling because of the volume. Again, if you look at the VPVR indicator, this is an area historically also where we had a lot of resistance and support. So that is where there's more volume, more struggling to get through. But if we are getting through here, we can go much higher, I think, very, very quickly. I think all the way up to 175. That is the another area where we had previously a lot of resistance and quite a significant high we did have there. Overall, what you can also see, we are moving here in a linear fashion up there, you know, with this ascending trend line towards a horizontal resistance. So that could be indicated, or could be understood as a ascending triangle, where we could see here some further continuation, a bullish, this could be resolved in a bullish way. We move up higher here above the 145 level, and then we need to get above 150 as well, or 149 was here the previous high a few days ago. From there we could then move up higher. So overall, I think it's holding strong. As long as you don't lose this trend line here, I think we're going to continue like that. At some point, I think we are going to lose that trend line, but it's holding really steady for now. And you know, the question comes up, you know, if in Bitcoins move up, you know, we could potentially move up between 15 to 25% in my Bitcoin scenario before there is another drop. You know, how much could really realistically Cardano do? And let me just take out the VPVR again, just makes it too messy. And then from there, if we take here just from where we currently are, another 15% for ADA. Now that could take us to 165, 25%, yeah, could take us to that 175 level that I mentioned, but just above that we've got the 0.618 fib level at 181. So somewhere in that range I anticipate we could get to before Bitcoin then probably early in January is going to turn around, produce that head and shoulders, and then move down. And that is when ADA is probably going to move down as well. And the question then will be, will that 120 level hold, or will we go down to $1, and will the $1 level hold? I sincerely hope it will. It did hold many times before. It's a significant psychological level for Cardano. And if the $1 level holds, that would be a very, very important signal for Cardano holders, because then after that correction that Bitcoin is doing, the Cardano price could also come up much higher in a larger scale wave 3 that we talked about before, that could take us to 450 or beyond. You know, could Cardano outperform Bitcoin while Bitcoin is doing a crash? I don't think so. I think Cardano can outperform Bitcoin, but not in a period where Bitcoin is going into a short-term bear market. So yeah, more patience required for all crypto holders. Of course, money can be made at the moment. I did talk about that we probably have seen the bottom for many cryptos for now, and that we're going to move up. There is still potential 15 to 25%, maybe even more for some altcoins, but then I would be extremely careful. I'll take profits. I'll take some profits in this area here for Bitcoin. Not all of it though, recognizing that this analysis could play out differently as well, and we all need to be prepared for that always. But I am then planning to buy back lower for Bitcoin. So that's pretty much my view. Today in the live stream, 17:00 UTC for all channel members, we're going to talk about the 2021 year, what happened, looking a bit at the history, and what actually played out, and what in 2022 could be or are my favorite cryptos, and how 2022 could play out. So looking a little bit at a close off year-end live stream, which will be great. I'm looking forward to it. And every channel member can participate in that. The link will be published in the member section of YouTube. So hope you like the, and by the way, for everybody who is not signed up on YouTube, on the website, I'll publish the link as well in the member section. So hopefully you liked the updated video about Cardano and Bitcoin. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.